Here's how to paint MDF and get a perfect smooth finish every time. MDF is a cheap paintable wood which makes it perfect for cupboard doors, skirting boards and the like, but here's how you can make it look $1 million using just paint. I have MDF throughout my house, the doors on our loft eave storage, the doors on our understairs cupboards, our skirting boards and architrave everywhere. Not only is this material inexpensive compared to other woods, but it comes in a whole range of thicknesses so it can be used for so many different projects in your home. It's also really easy to finish with a few simple products, so let me show you what you need to do. Firstly, prime it using a wood or MDF primer. This Zinsser one is a personal favourite, and you want to avoid using brushes here. Rollers will give you a smooth, uniform application without those deep brush marks. You don't need any fancy specialist rollers. This is a simple microfiber roller sleeve, which is super cheap and easy to pick up at any DIY store. Just make sure you're consistent with the direction you roll your primer on. Up and down or left to right is fine. Just stick to one to avoid any uneven texture. A roller creates a much smoother finish versus thick brush marks, but if you do get any dodgy, clumpy bits, do not fear, because this next step will sort them right out. Once dry, grab a light sandpaper, around 240 grit will do, and give your MDF a little rub over. This will take any harsh bits of paint or rough edges off. Do not skip this step, even if you think it looks smooth already, because this is what makes your final paint look perfect. You're not looking to strip the door right back, you just want to make the surface as smooth as possible, as primers can sometimes add a slightly rough feel. When sanding, give the MDF surface a good feel with your hand to find any rough patches and just give them a little rub down with your sandpaper. Now this will create some dust and flaky bits, so be sure to clean them off your MDF surface before you even think about moving on to painting. I use a damp sponge here, but any damp cloth will do, and then give it another wipe over with a duster once it's dry. Otherwise you could end up with tiny flecks of dust in your paint, creating a texture you do not want. So when it comes to painting, any paint that is labelled as suitable for wood will work. I personally would always use an eggshell finish paint that gives a slight smooth sheen and it is super hard wearing versus using a traditional gloss or wood finish, but it totally depends what vibe you're going for. Paint technology has moved on a lot in recent years, so a lot of eggshell emulsions are multi-purpose and have been engineered to give that gorgeous finish on your woodwork. Many matte finish paints are also suitable, but eggshell does give you that lovely premium smooth look rather than a dry, slightly chalky finish you sometimes get with matte paints. If you do use an eggshell like me, you won't need a top coat of any kind. As I said, these modern paints are designed to be super durable and give you that tough finish that you need. So to paint the MDF, I'm using the same cheap microfiber roller and following my same painting method as before, up and down in one consistent direction, being mindful not to create texture or leave any lumps of paint sitting on the MDF. But if you do spot any, just smooth them over with your roller before they dry. And if you also spot any dust or bits of fluff in your paintwork, which is inevitable, just pick them out as you go, otherwise they'll dry down into your finished woodwork. So after one coat, the MDF is looking transformed already, and after two, it's looking fantastic. These are cupboard doors for the eave storage in our loft space, so I then added these beautiful handles which finish off the doors perfectly. So all it took to transform MDF into these smart looking doors was a primer and a lick of paint, and no one would ever guess they just started life as two very basic blocks of MDF. Subscribe if you want more tutorials like this and to follow our full loft room renovation process from start to finish.